Welcome back to the PI Show, viewers. It's that time of the show. We've got the mailbag. Kathy, 2011, welcome back.
Thank you very much, Tony.
Bigger
Happy
and
New
better.
Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Bigger
Welcome,
and better.
viewers.
Yeah.
Season 6. I can't believe we're back for another season.
What do you think of John Caransis?
I am absolutely amazed with the Supreme Court victories that he's had. It was like
Two
great from a
in 1
learned
year.
colleague as well. So
Something to aspire to, Kathy. What do you think?
absolutely. Look, I can only get bigger and better, so I'm going to try.
2 in 1 year. Yeah.
Well, look, it doesn't happen often.
No,
but
it doesn't. No.
we need the trifecta now, John. So
Yes,
hopefully next
yeah.
time you're on, we've got another one for this year.
Quadrella.
Oh, look,
Quadrella.
Flemington, John's
The
coming
quadrella.
your way.
Quadrella.
Actually, he's not bad at the horses too, because I've seen him in action.
Yeah.
He picks some...
Pick some
Oh,
winners.
look, now that's for
Well,
another day,
Well,
Tony.
he picked 2 winners last year, Tony.
He nearly scored $1 million result last year in a trifecta.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Unfortunately,
close.
viewers, you can't actually write in to ask for John's tips, but what you can do is write in so that we can actually answer some questions that you have. And look, thank you again for writing in. We are going to start off 2011 with a bang. We've got some great questions and we're going to kick them off now. The first question we have is from James in Epping, and he writes, Dear PI Show, 2 years ago, I suffered a slip disc whilst lifting heavy boxes at work. As a result of this, I was only able to do light work. Late last year, I was diagnosed with a condition called cervical spondylitis, which means I am totally incapable of working. Before my accident, there were no signs of this disease. I would like to know what my legal rights are, if any. My employer is saying that their liability is limited to loss of earnings up to the time when the disease resulted in total incapacity. Is this true? Now, Harry, can you answer James's question?
Well, a couple of things. I think the first thing is I think he had a neck injury, so slip disc at work. It's an accepted injury, and I think he would have been on weekly payments of compensation. You've got to submit a form, weekly payments of compensation, and then there was further investigation. I think they came up with a further diagnosis, and that seems to have been where he cannot work after 2 years of light duties.
Harry, it sounds similar to spondylitis would have been there in the
It's a
actual
pre-existing,
incident aggravated it.
It's a disease of the spine, and it's a long-standing disease which occurs over a long period of time. So it's a degenerative disease. Now, the law says if you aggravate your neck and the disease becomes symptomatic, then you're entitled to compensation. The defendant medicos have got to demonstrate that the spondylitis would have been spontaneously occurred and would have occurred anyway without any incident. Now, I've often seen it raised by defendants, but I've never seen it successfully litigated in court in Victoria. So
there's too much guesswork that comes into it, because even though you've got a pre-existing condition, it may never come to the fore.
That's right.
May never give you any problems.
There's no easy way of proving that the disease would have manifested itself anyway.
Or giving you problems in 2, 3, 4 or 5 years.
That's right. So you're
10 years.
speculating, but and then there's a specific incident here where he's caused some damage to his neck. So I think he's got common law rights, he's got rights for weekly payments, and medical expenses should continue as well.
But on the issue of inability to work, chances are, I'd argue he'd probably get total incapacity benefits, Harry.
Sounds like it to me. So it's a significant injury. It sounds like you get total incapacity benefit, and he's probably got a common law right. Dare I say, Tony, he probably should consult a lawyer.
Guaranteed.
So if he's worried about legal rights, consult
and
a
also,
lawyer.
the fact that he can't work, superannuation entitlements, he'd probably have a total permanent disability benefit there.
So we'll basically seek legal advice, James, but we hope that that's answered your query to some extent.
Just quickly, Kathy, I saw a fellow recently where he had 4 different policies. So he had his common law rights, he had 2 superannuation policies, and a trauma policy with another insurer. So they've got to check it out carefully, because you'd be surprised. You might have quite a few entitlements.
Well, each case, as we know, is based on its own merits, so there's always room for investigations, and you should always consult a lawyer.
That's it.
Moving on now, we've got Tabitha from Lower Plenty, who has written in to Tony and Harry. I'm an injured worker suffering from a psychiatric illness brought on by bullying in the workplace. I'm currently undergoing auditing at the Church of Scientology. I'm finding these treatments, which I would describe as a form of spiritual counselling, to be very helpful to me in managing my illness. However, they are expensive and WorkCover is refusing to pay for them. What can I do? Now, Tony, this is an interesting question because it's not something that pops up quite often. In terms of what WorkCover provides for rehabilitation or for therapy brought on for psychiatrists, how would you consider?
I don't know what auditing means. If you take it literally, be careful, I guess. It must be some form of spiritual counselling. Look, I don't think it fits the definition of medical and like expenses, Harry, because under WorkCover you've got to be reasonable medical and like expense.
First of all, is it reasonable? But secondly, is the person qualified? So
That's right.
you need someone who's qualified and, look into their qualifications.
That might be a psychologist, who knows?
You take it to conciliation, and conciliation try and resolve the matter without going to court, and they investigate the facts. The person's probably got to write a report about... It sounds as though it's beneficial treatment in some shape or form. And the other thing, Tony, is that WorkCover only pay up to a limit.
Yep, there's a limit on everything.
Of how much they will pay. So, but no matter what they are charged, WorkCover will only pay up to a certain
I
amount.
still think that it won't fit definitions, Harry. I'm pretty sure.
Of medical and like expense.
Yeah, spiritual counselling, it's not a
Oh,
recognised...
expertise or
Because
qualification.
I don't think they're paying for alternative medicine.
No,
You know what I mean? It's got to be scientific or science, some science attached to it.
But it could be, Tony, that the Victorian WorkCover Authority has actually not authorised them as an agent, or potentially it hasn't arisen before and it could now become an authorised agent for treatment. You don't know. I mean...
But qualifications is the
everything
key. I
changes.
think
Yeah,
I agree. I agree with
think-
Tony
I don't
that
think it
ultimately
fits.
It doesn't sound like it. but
They
I'm just
mightn't
saying.
pay for naturopaths or alternate
Osteopaths
medicine.
having problems, Harry. Osteos have problems.
Osteopaths,
Unless
yeah.
there's some link with physios or chiros. So
Yeah,
it just shows you that, definitions are important.
Of qualifications. And as you
Qualifications.
say, it's got to be scientifically demonstrable. It's of assistance as well. I think that's right.
It's the end of a show
that's
again,
right.
guys.
I can't believe that we've actually come to the end again so quickly. We can't get through these questions quick enough. We're going to have to speed it up next time,
and
boys.
do we have a website?
We do have a website, and we
Do
would
we have
like
a
viewers
website?
to keep writing into us at www.thepishow.com. And we welcome all questions, so please keep writing in, and thank you again for having us.
Thanks, viewers.
Thanks very much. See you next
Harry?
week. Thanks.
Thank you.